Tyler, speaking on Cam Clark and running at some of these smaller, we'll call them outlaw tracks for lack of a better term, the surfaces there are probably not far off what he's going to see right here.
I don't know. You kind of can't take it away. They've been fast at a lot of, there's a lot of racetracks that have been fast that aren't really on a national scale. I think, you always have to come up a little bit gun shy in Q1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always the one that says you've got to go down the racetrack in Q1. If you don't go down the racetrack in Q1, not only do you put yourself behind the 8 ball to make the field, you also, your confidence kind of gets behind the 8 ball as well. So Cam Clark, first car, Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous, right about now.
Yeah, well, that didn't pan out like he had hoped.
Yep, Cam's first run of the weekend, getting here this morning, and rolls into the same kind of program that we saw yesterday for a lot of teams, was getting to about 100 foot and seeing the tire shake rose. So Brian Schrader and Dane Wood, your next two.
Schrader, he'll be in the white Corvette on the left side of the racetrack. The Robert Hayes Motorsports prepared Musey powered machine, and Dane Wood on the right-hand side. 660 race car technology, Brickhouse Brothers Racing, Affordable Trans, Three Guns Custom, Purvis Ford, and CMR Crane and Rigging on board this weekend here at Thunder Valley. So crew chiefs start to pull them up towards the top bulb on the Christmas tree. Dane Wood right side, Brian Schrader on the left.
Brian Schrader, Dane Wood. Wood has to hang on to the tire shake, and Brian Schrader looks to be making a run and goes kaboom right before the 330-foot cones, as our trackside spotters will check out. The left-hand side of the racetrack is Brian Schrader was looking to be making a full pull right there, and something gave up the ghost in the Robert Hayes Motorsports Chevrolet Corvette down the left-hand side of the racetrack. So if you're watching at home on FloRacing, you'll see an instant replay. Wheels were in the air for Schrader. A little bit of pretty heavy, severe tire shake, and then all of a sudden something was not happy between the frame rails for Brian Schrader.
And watching that replay on Dane Wood, he hiked the front end up and was going to the right-hand side and said, you know what, we'll try this again in a little bit. All right, I'm getting the all clear from the top end, and John Vergatz, Tim Molnar are going to fire to life and pull through the water box here at Thunder Valley. Vergatz will be on the left side of the racetrack out of Erie, Pennsylvania. The Dark Knight 69 Camaro for A1 Auto. And Tim Molnar on the right-hand side. What a rookie season he's had so far. In the Albert Powered 69 Camaro for Ricky Smith Racing, Gym Attachments, ARC Gas. Some Billy Albert horsepower right-hand side. Of course, Molnar teammate to Billy Albert. And Pat Musey horsepower for Vergatz here on the left side. See Ricky Smith on the headset behind Molnar's machine as he starts to head towards the top bulb. Regatz does the same on the left side. Trying to make an A to B hit here in the opening round of Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous qualifying. Both these drivers capable of doing so.
Regatz and Molnar both trying to battle it out, and Regatz gets there 378.9, 199 miles per hour. Tim Molnar 981 down low. It looks like it might have got out around the tunnel and drove into tire shake. Molnar aborts. John Regatz will set the pace here in round number 1 of qualifying. 378.9, 199 miles per hour. Your first car to the finish line here in Q1.
And that's very dangerous, seeing John Regatz go A to B like that. That car is known not so much to knock down the scoreboards, but going A to B will win you a lot of rounds on race day. So yeah, watching the replay on flow, definitely some tire shake there from Molnar. They'll go back and get that fixed up and ready to go. Final call for WS Construction Pro Boost. Final call for Pro Boost. You should be in the lanes. And they'll push Molnar's car the rest of the way off the racing surface, and we'll fire our next pair. Green lights on the safety quads means we are ready to fire the next pair. It's going to be Tim Papp and Freddie Scriba. Papp on the left-hand side for KTR, Papp Auto Body out of Charleston, Illinois. And Scriba, your defending world champion in the category, here on the right-hand side out of Millersville, Maryland. The Sorcerer 1969 Camaro for Scriba Welding. Pat Musey horsepower for Freddie Scriba. Tim Papp coming off of a #1 qualifier, second one of the season at US 131 at her last stop tie.
Papp is a car that you have to keep your eye on. That team has been the one so far this season, not going to say that surprised anybody, because that's a wealth of knowledge between Stevie Jackson and Jeffrey Barker and everybody at Team KTR. But Papp has done a really good job behind the wheel. He's driven very well. They've made the right moves as a team to put themselves into successful contention. So I think you have to watch the Chevrolet Corvette on the left-hand side of the racetrack, and Freddie Scriba. He's your defending world champion for a reason. That car goes up and down the racetrack most every time down here. And like Scotty just spoke on John Regatz, that is what is a very scary thing for your competition. If you know you have a car that goes A to B, not only do you feel like you have to get there before him, but you have that added pressure of knowing that car is 9 times out of 10 going to the finish line.
Yeah, I believe yesterday in testing, Scriba made it down on all attempts.
I do believe Scriba was one that was 3 for 3. I know Jason Harris was in Boost, and I think there was a couple of others that were 3 for 3. And you just got to go down the racetrack. And Scotty, we speak on it all the time that you come up and you don't get down the racetrack and you only get to 100 foot or whatever. You only got 100 foot worth of data. These other teams that get 660 feet worth of data, and that can mean the difference when it comes to race day. So Tim Papp, Freddie Scriba, your next two.
And unfortunately for both those drivers, they're rolling about the same problem a lot of the others have had, Tyler. They had 971 down low for Tim Papp. Unfortunately goes into tire shake.
Yeah, both of them looked to be pretty true, and then it looked like they got out around that first tunnel and unloaded the rear tires out in the middle of the racetrack. So those two will go back, and like we speak on, you still learn something when you abort a run, because now you know kind of where that troublesome spot is based off of that run. So Marcus Butner and Billy Albert going to be your next two.
Before we get to that pair, I just watched the flow replay, and man, it was almost synchronized. Both cars going into shake about the same time and turning the same direction, but so they'll go back and tune on them machines. But our next pair fires up and heads through the water box. And Ricky Smith is adamant about something over here on the right-hand side with Billy Albert behind the wheel. Marcus Butner, left side out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina. The Heartbreaker 69 Camaro for Redline Oil, Precision Shaft Technologies, and Pat Musey Race Engines. Billy Albert on the right-hand side, the Stan Nansone 2020 Camaro out of Wytheville, Virginia. For Structural Mechanical, Albert Race Engines. Ricky Smith, the crew chief, right side. Jay Cox on the left. AED Competition. Extreme Pro Stock, presented by Allen Competition Engines. We need you. Pro Stock, we need you for your opening round of qualifying. But, man, Tyler, two icons, not behind the wheel, but behind the keyboards on this pair.
On the wheel as well. Marcus Butner, the 31-year-old subcontractor out of North Carolina, has been right there the last couple of seasons. You kind of wait on that breakout moment that just takes this team from third, fourth in points to all the way to the top, and they are really close. A good weekend here at Bristol could take them to that spot.
Well, you mentioned points, and at one point in the season, after two races in, Butner was on top of the standings. He finds himself in the fourth position now. Billy Albert third in points. So this could be a turning point for Butner if he can park that thing in the Fuel Tech winner's circle this weekend.
Yep, and Billy Albert's had a really good card this season. I would expect to see Billy have a good handle on this one, like we talk about Ricky Smith getting up and down the racetrack a lot of times. So Marcus Butner, Billy Albert, your next pair. Both drivers at the exact same spot. Lose the tire on the race course and will coast down.
So speaking on that, we've watched, 5, 6 cars have problems in the same exact spot. You're already in the staging lanes getting ready to make your run. You've already loaded your tune-up into the car. You're watching what's going on out here. Is there anything that you can do while sitting back here to make an adjustment to your hot rod to maybe get it A to B? Well, yeah.
That's why you bring a laptop and not a desktop.
I got you. But, I mean, can you do a quick suspension adjustment, or do you even go that route? They certainly didn't. So with their final round at US 131, the only thing we're gonna say about that is it was a 006 margin at the finish line, Tyler.
Almost racing.
Yes, not very fast though. But Tommy Franklin left side for Redline, Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Hoosier, and Mincer Motorsports. Amber Denton on the right-hand side, Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Redline Oil, Hoosier. Jeff Pierce doing the tuning on both of these machines, and Pat Musey horsepower across the board.
Yeah, I think the name of the game right here for both of these teams is just get down the racetrack. We spoke on it about how yesterday's testing struggles for both. They came up 0 for 3. So I feel like both of them are going to be laid up right here. I would expect to see something in the high 370 range if they make it down the racetrack. So right now I think you just want data. You just want to go down the racetrack, and that's the name of the game for Tommy Franklin and Amber Denton, your final pair here in Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous. Amber's out of the pedal. Tommy to the finish line. 378.4, 202 miles per hour for Tommy. So he will go down the Ballad Health left-hand side of the racetrack and match John Vergatz with a 378, but Franklin goes to the top by 5 thousandths of a second. The 378.4 will be your number one qualifier provisionally after one round. We get to see an instant replay of Amber Denton on FloRacing, and her car right about the same spot drove into tire shake. It's Tommy Franklin straight and true down the Ballad Health left-hand side of the racetrack. So Tommy Franklin ends Q1 at P1 in Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous.
Yeah, looking on the graphic on FloRacing, not not by any means one of our quicker Pro Nitrous top 10s, but I'm sure they'll get them back to the trailers and fix them up, make the necessary adjustments, and Q2 will be a little bit better. Pro Stock, we've called you to the staging lanes. Pro Stock, we've called you. So now we're going to switch it up a little bit. WS Construction Pro Boost presented by Tie Drive and P2 Contracting. First machine to take the racing surface is going to be Bob Glenn, Florida-based 67 Mustang. And if I'm not mistaken, this may be his first time this year on the PDRA Tour. A tough runner with a roots blown combination in between the frame rails. Bob Glenn going to clean her out up there on the starting line a little bit.
Aggressive. I mean, no, it's first run of the day. We're a little bit fired up, but
that's right.
Woo.
I like it.
So, your Pro Boost competitor, you got to watch Pro Nitrous come out, and they kind of showed you a little bit of trickiness out there in Q1. So I feel like Pro Boost has made a lot of changes as they have come up. The Resolution Racing Services G-Force race cars built Mustang on the right-hand side of the racetrack for Bob Glenn, the Florida-based runner here in Thunder Valley. Have a solo shot. Start us off here in WS Construction Pro Boost qualifying, presented by P2 Contracting and Tie Drive. Bob Glenn, floor is yours.
Same thing that we saw with the nitrous machines. Gets out there about 100 feet and clicks it off. Goes through at a 6:23. Fun pair getting ready to fire to life here behind the water box. Frank Falter and Bubba Green. Falter making the jump from elite top dragster to Pro Boost, the Candyman, out of Pasadena, Maryland, on the left-hand side of the racetrack, making his second appearance on tour this season. And on the right-hand side, Bubba Green, out of Taylor, South Carolina, the Scotty Cannon Tune 2022 Camaro. Bubba Green with some success here at Thunder Valley. Last season in his Corvette, made it to the semifinals, had one of their better outings of the season. This newer machine to them. Brand new machine, actually, with the wild looking zoomies out of the fender look. And you say, well, Scotty, the zoomies, they all come out from underneath the fender. Well, yeah, most of them do, but not Bubba Green's. His is coming out. His is coming out in the middle of the fender. But Scotty Cannon, a known innovator in the category, been doing this since the inception of the category, of the class, Pro Modified. And I'm old enough, Tyler, to remember when they did a contest, I believe, to name Pro Modified. That was been a couple days ago. I was a kid probably.
Scotty, you're really showing your age right now.
Hey, man, wear it like a badge of honor. I've been there, seen it.
I agree. But, you know, think of sitting on the starting line. You've got Frank Falter, the fourth, making his second or third Pro Boost race. And the right-hand side, the godfather of professionally modified race cars on the right-hand side. He has seen more races with Pro Mods than I think anybody else has on the planet Earth. Scotty Cannon, ready to tune Bubba Green to a run right down Bristol Dragway. Falter hangs on to it, goes 380, 196 miles per hour, their best run of the weekend thus far. Bubba Green almost made the trip, 450, 118.
Yeah, he was having to put a little steering wheel into that one. But, man, hats off to Frank Falter. We talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, about going A to B. And they just did that. It wasn't the fastest lap by any means, but he's got data. He's got good data. He can go advance on that and maybe tune her up a little quicker for the next round of qualifying. Our next pair fires up, Don Tolley and Cam Hensley. Tolley will be on the left-hand side of the racetrack out of Bedford, Virginia, the 2014 Camaro. Cam Hensley on the right-hand side, 69 Camaro out of Vernon, California, the Coast Packing Company machine. Don Tolley, left side. Son Ryan doing the tuning on his hot rod. Maximo Oil's helping out. From nearby Bedford, Virginia. Cam Hensley over on the right-hand side. Some success yesterday in testing, so we'll see if he can carry it through today.
Cam Hensley makes it down the racetrack, but I think he might have expired either some kind of part or something, because it looked like it knocked the burst panel out of it. 383 at 171 miles per hour. Don Tolley had some kind of issue as soon as he turned loose of the trans brake button, and that car was just unhappy.
I tell you what's most impressive to me about that pass was Cam Hensley did it over on the right-hand side of the racetrack, where some of the drivers have noticeably struggled. But he just made it look really easy going A to B, and like you said, probably would have been a little bit quicker, but it might have
it would have definitely
had some unplanned disassembly down there at the finish line.
Yeah, it definitely would have been quicker. You see the speed down at 171 miles per hour, and Cam made a run yesterday that was over 200. So let's just say it's down 30 miles per hour, but it did look like that it knocked something out of the burst panel, out of the top of the, right in the center of the cowl hood of the Coast Packing Company Chevrolet Camaro. As we watch it back on FloRacing, kind of gets out in the middle, and you just see it lay over, and then poof, right, a little smoke comes out of it. So who knows? That team will go to work. They got a lot of parts and pieces over in that camp that they'll go to work and see if they can get that thing back into 100% shape for Q2 a little bit on this afternoon. But Tom Blenko and David Monday, the David Monday Race Cars teammates. I know you can't really guess that they're teammates because, you know, they kind of look alike.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. How do you tell that?
I don't know. It's a very, you know, I'm a very safe better, Scotty. We've talked about this before on the mic. I'm a very safe bet guy, but I'll tell you what, I would put 5 on a red Corvette right now.
I'll go with maroon.
Oh, of course.
Get a little technical on you.
Got to get a. You got. So let me guess. You grew up with the 64 box of crayons, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
All the colors.
All the colors. Tom Blenko, David Monday, as Tyler said, Monday on the right-hand side out of Marysville, Tennessee. The Buzzett Construction 22 Corvette. Blenko left-hand side out of Bardstown, Kentucky. Also for Buzzett Construction, 21 model Corvette. The two red machines, or burgundy machines, however you want to put it, pull up towards the top bulb on the tree.
The name of the game, go 660 feet with the loud pedal. I really don't think it matters what number pops up on the scoreboard at this time. Tom Blenko and David Monday, the teammates. I wonder if it's a little, what if they got a wager on this over the pit?
I guarantee you they got something on the tree.
How about both of them right to the finish line? 383, 199 miles per hour for David Monday. Tom Blenko steps off the pedal, but Monday, 383 to go, number 3. As Blenko slides in number 4.
Raymond Matos, right-hand side out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, the 2020 Camaro. And Ed Marks, Cherry Valley, California, Marks Motorsports 2023 Camaro. D-Cell Battery Systems, PS West Construction, YO Motorsports, and Tie Drive. Pro 632, presented by PTC, we need you. Pro 632, we need you for Q1 to the staging lanes at this time, please. Ed Marks, second appearance on tour this season. Had a great outing. His first time with us here at the PDRA, looking to duplicate that performance here this weekend in Thunder Valley. And Raymond Matos on the right-hand side. Strong runner in the category as well. See if they can make it through the shake zone and put a number up on the top board. This pair are going to go side by side. How about a 374 for Ed Marks? 201 was 18 going by the tree, and Raymond Matos 23 letting go at a 380. So Ed Marks moves all the way up to the top of the chart with that 374, 201. And once again, Raymond Matos, a good run for him as well. Number 3. Jason Lee, John Dock going to be the next pair out on the racing surface. Dock on the right-hand side out of Benson, North Carolina, the lab-grown Camaro. For Southern Diamond, Nasty Racing and TKM Performance. And Jason Lee, left-hand side out of Vernon, California, the Lard Machine. The 2020 Camaro. For Lions Custom Motorsports, Noonan Race Engineering, Hall Tech, PSI, Hoosier, Rife Sensors, and Liberty's Gears.
John Dock, You're next to Jason Lee, the screw-blown Coast Packing Company left-hand side Camaro, and John Dock for Nasty Racing. Jason Lee out of the pedal. John Dock, right-hand side, 384 to 197. Dock was quick down low, 939. I think that's the quickest we've seen thus far in category, but I do believe he had to pedal. Grabbed back into the loud pedal and goes 384, 197.
Preston Tanner, the Sweetheart 2015 Corvette out of Rensselaer, Indiana for Talbot Manufacturing, Tanner Transport, Manhattan Collision Center. And Kurt Stedding, the P2 Monster on the right-hand side, tie drive, Redline Oil, NGK spark plugs, and YO Motorsports. And Tyler, I feel like if we're going to see an aggressive attempt at the racetrack, it's these two right here. I feel like, I won't say they're going to try to knock the scoreboards down, but I feel like these two are probably going to go after it a little bit.
Oh, man, I don't know. I think you really are just trying to come up here and go A to B. You've seen so many struggle. We talk about the not the threat, but the fear of pulling up beside somebody that goes up and down the racetrack. Right now, you're trying to put yourself in that card, but after testing yesterday, I personally think Preston Tanner was the best car on the property. Okay.
All right, Courtney's gonna join us, Tyler.
So now we bring in our third announcing voice. Courtney Enders Hyde has got a outside source. So Courtney, feed us the tea.
Well, I would just have to say I kind of agree with both of you. Scotty, I agree with in a sense of we've seen more cars go down in Pro Boost, so people who do want to take a bigger bite may say, I'm going to see how far it can go. But at the same time, those people who are smart and may just be. So, neutral, Switzerland.
Wow. They're out and gone, both of them right down the racetrack. And how about Preston Tanner? 367.4, 203 miles per hour as Jeff Pierce walks off the starting line with a little bit of swagger. 367.4 and rockets to the top of the leaderboard. Kurt Stedding, 375 at 203, puts him number 3. But Preston Tanner let everybody know he's here in Thunder Valley.
That was impressive, Tyler. I'm telling you, 367.4 is a pretty big number right now, but here comes Randy Rutherford. What a story he has been here the last month in the WS Construction 2021 Camaro out of Danville, Virginia with the Hartz Charger on it. And Steve King out of Strasburg, Virginia on the right-hand side, the Savage 29 Corvette owned by Gene Pilot, Resolution Racing Services, G-Force on board that machine on the right side.
So Scotty, years ago, Randy Weatherford earned the nickname The Butcher. Well, I can tell you, I've known Randy Weatherford for a lot of years now, and when that man has a fast race car that he is confident in, he gets that butcher mentality back on the starting line. Not only has he been fast, Randy Weatherford has driven better in the last couple of races than he hasn't all season. Weatherford not only took home the win at Martin, Michigan, he took home $125,000 a week later. So my man is riding the confidence, and you can hear it in his voice in interviews.
I agree.
He is flat out confident, and I'm not going to say that he doesn't think he can't be knocked off the throne, but when Randy Rutherford's up top, that's a bad little man because he's coming after you.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. And I tell you, it's one thing to have the baddest car on the property, but when you're up there laying down 00 reaction times in and out throughout the day, that's saying something.
So both drivers make it to the finish line. Weatherford quicker of the two, 370, 208 miles per hour, and Steve King, 373, puts Weatherford 2. Steve King at 3. All of them still chasing Preston Tanner.
But I tell you what, Tyler, I like that run by Steve King right there.
That's the run, Scotty.
You know what I mean?
That is the lap you have to make in Q1 when it's questionable, when you're kind of worried what can the racetrack take. You get A to B, you get data, you go down the racetrack. Steve King's one to watch when you come back for Q2.
Oh, I agree, and they'll load it up, I'm sure. Next pair, tell me if you've seen this episode before. Melanie Salimi and Johnny Camp. Camp on the right-hand side out of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. The Hells Bells 69 Camaro, NGK Sparkplugs, Tatman Electric, Camp Brothers Enterprises, Proline, and Turnkey Foundations, all helping out that Brandon Stroud prepared Camaro on the right side. Melody Salimi left side. The 68 Firebird for G-Force, MSR Performance. Hoosier Tire, LAT Oils, Liberty's Gears, you name it, she's got it on that hot rod. Eiley Installations and Resolution Racing Services. G-Force, of course, the builder of Purple Rain.
Scotty, you talked on it multiple times on PDRA Live and yesterday during testing. Johnny Camp is a car that is usually one you watch out for. Right now, man, that run out of Preston Tanner was completely impressive to me. You saw it through the entire run, though. It was 928 down low. Really carried it through the middle. Preston did an excellent job behind the wheel. So everybody right now is, you know what's out there. Now, do you have the right pieces of the puzzle to get your car to that point?
Each of these tuners watches all these runs, and you know, watching the opening round of Pro Nitrous qualifying, a lot of questions probably raised in a bunch of the tuners' minds. Man, is my tune-up going to work? And then Preston Tanner comes out and lays down that 67 pass, and I mean, it's out there, you know?
Just have to find it. You have to find that combination. You have to find that sweet spot like we talked about yesterday. Not only do you have the horsepower, you got to have the car that works well as well. Speaking of good working cars, there's two of them on the starting line. They're number 3 and number 4 in the championship point standings. Both drivers are chasing a world championship that also gets you $25,000 to go to the bank account. Melanie Salimi, Johnny Camp ready to start off their Thunder Valley Throwdown right about now here in Q1. 371.4 for Johnny Camp, quicker of the two. 371.9 for Melanie Salimi. Again, you just spoke on it on the Steve King run. Same chapter in the book for those two. Give me something that goes A to B, put me on the board, get me in the field, and let's go from there.
But not just A to B for those so much. I mean, those are respectable passes, 71.4, 71.9. And I mean, you know, there will be a bump spot on this field, so.
That's what I keep alluding to is Pro Boost this weekend does have a full field plus some, so you got to get yourself out of the danger zone. Well, when I say, yeah, that's an A to B lap, it might not be an A to B lap. That might be all that it's got. But at the same time, that all that it's got in this scenario was good enough to put you safely into the field. Now you can do what you want for the next two runs.
Yep, absolutely. Jason Harris and Ty Tutterow.
Your final pair in category.
Your new points leader after US 131 will line up on the right-hand side of the racetrack, and Ty Tutterow. Justin Smith-owned Quick Fuel Camaro out of Mocksville, North Carolina for Ty Drive and Redline Oil. And Jason Harris on the left-hand side. Harris, your defending world champion and a 4-time PDRA world champion, shooting for 5-time. He would be the only 5-time champion the PDRA has out of Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Sorry, Courtney threw me off there.
Yeah.
She's shaking her head no. I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something in my stats, man? Come on.
So, Ty Tutterow, his year has been so wild to be. You know, they came out the first race with a semifinal finish, but they blew everything up that they had because of a wiring issue. Come back to Virginia, fix the wiring issue, and don't qualify. But ever since then, Maverick has been a wheelman. And now you're going to see Jason Harris and Ty Tutterow, your final pair in category right about now. Both of them A to B right down the racetrack. And how about Jason Harris? 367.9, 206 miles per hour. And Ty Tutterow, 372.0. Will put him into the spot. Jason Harris goes to Preston Tanner. Will lead the way after Q1, 367.4 out of the screw blower, 367.9 out of the Pro Charger. And Randy Weatherford, number 3 for Hearts at 370.
And you just spoke on it, Tyler, and I'm going to touch on it real quick, too. You just said he didn't qualify at race number 2. What does that tell you about the level of drivers and the parity amongst the class that you can miss a race or not qualify for a race and still lead to points?
We talk about it being a Shark Tank every week.
Crazy.
You talk about all these matchups that show up in round number 1. That's how the points end up the way that they are right now. You could leave this race with a new points leader as well. You could leave this race with multiple new points leaders if the cards fall the way that they do. But
we have had
the pro stock.
Before, real quick, I got one more
Okay.
stat, man. You know, I've always got the stuff. We've had 3 different points leaders in Pro Boost so far this season. So as you just said, we could leave here with a 4th. Who knows? But we're moving on. We're going to AED Performance Extreme Pro Stock presented by Allen Competition Engines, and our first machine on the Speedway. It's going to be Dave Hughes out of Nazareth, Pennsylvania. The HRE Manifolds 2018 Camaro, AED, Kazi, Indy Racing Gear, and Ram clutches. And I believe we have gone silent. So something going south there for Dave Hughes. Or we're waiting on the top end to be cleared. One of the two. We're going to find out for you here momentarily. We are definitely checking out the racing surface. I'm not sure which one of the final 2 Pro Boost cars may have leaked a little something down there on the top end of the racetrack. We are making sure we're good to go, so bear with us, and we'll be right back up and running. Things wrapping up down on the top end. Don't forget to stop by the PDRA apparel trip.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Just like a hot knife through butter around this quarter-mile oval. Here's his old winner in FloRacing North America.
Red Line Oil. Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
.830 cubic inches of Kazi race engine underneath the hood scoop. Debuts 4:22.6 at 173 miles per hour. Great opening run for that team. Next pair out is going to be Jordan Insulin and Stephen Boone. Past world champion in Boone on the right-hand side out of Weaverville, North Carolina for Boone Motorsports. His 07 Cobalt, Allen competition engines under the hood, 830 cubic inches. Hoosier tire, Mincer Motorsports line-to-line coatings, and white safety equipment. Insulin on the left-hand side out of Lakeland, Florida. The 09 Mustang for Jay's Performance and Repair, Talmadge Towing, PJP Construction, and CJW Solutions. these drivers going to make the trip as both run into issues about the same time. Boone with the better reaction time of 0:52. That's about the only highlight of that pass. So your defending world champion on the right-hand side of the racetrack, Chris Powers out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. The 2021 Camaro for Sonny's world-class racing engines. And Chris Powers, HVAC. Elijah Morton will be on the left-hand side. The Double Trouble 2019 Mustang with the Allen Competition engines. Larry Jeffers Race Cars, South State Development, Horizons East, and Carolina Utilities. So out of the 4 races contested this season, Chris Powers has been #1 qualifier at 3 of the 4. See what he can do here on Thunder Mountain. Thunder Valley, not the Thunder Mountain. And we'll get it right one day. We're in the mountains. We're in between them. Here we go. Top end 4:18.4 for Chris Powers, but look at Elijah Morton. 4:17.4 at 173 for that Mustang to go to the top of the charts. These two cars been fighting it out all season long. Alan Drinkwater, your current points leader on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Maitland, Florida, the 08 Mustang for Seminole Paving. AED Competition, Ram Clutches, and Kazi Race Engines. And Jeremy Huffman here on the left-hand side, nearby Catawba, North Carolina for 3V Performance, his 2010 Cobalt. Lake Lookout Campground, Dellinger Fabrication, Hillside Auto, and PRS. So right now, Drinkwater and Huffman going to see if they can go to the top of the charts. Got to eclipse the 4:17.4 that you just saw Elijah Morton lay down. What a good side-by-side pass that was against Chris Powers. He went a 4:18 with a 4. How about a pair of 4:18s, 4:18.3 to a 4:18.6, and Morton will lead qualifying with his 4:17.4. Man, Elijah Morton 4:17.4, Jeremy Huppman 4:18.3, Chris Powers 4:18.4, Alan Drinkwater 4:18.6. Pretty solid at the top of AED Performance Extreme Pro Stock, presented by Allen Competition Engine. Now we'll make the move over to PDRA Pro 632, presented by PTC. Ed McLemore going to be the first onto the racing surface out of Bluff City, Tennessee, in the Demon Seed Mustang. In the pits, we need Liberty's Gears Pro Street, presented by Mincer Motorsports for Q1. Pro Street, we need you to the staging lanes for Q1. Troy Russell going to pull him up towards the top ball. Ed McLemore going to kick off Pro 632. Hiked the front end up, was unhappy with the direction it was heading, so he aborts mission. McLemore still rolling down on the top and want to make sure he clears before we fire off our next pair, which is going to be Gary Hood and J.C. Beatty Jr. J.C. out of Baltimore, Maryland, the 2018 Camaro for ATI Performance Products, and Gary Hood out of Severn, Maryland, the Inspector 1963 split window. Pro Street, we need you. Pro Street, we need you for Q1 to the staging lanes at this time. Out the way. 4:28.0 for J.C. Beatty Jr. Good run for his machine. 167 miles an hour. 4:55 for Gary Hood at 155 in the Corvette. Jason Ventura, Brian Claus is going to be our next pair to the starting line. Ventura on the left-hand side out of Pompano Beach, Florida. The Gladiator X 1970 Camaro for Procom ELS. And Brian Claus on the right-hand side from Pasadena, Maryland. The black Cavalier owned by Calvin Starcher. Injector Maintenance helping out his program. Side-by-side pass, 4:30 with an 8 for Jason Ventura. Brian Claus goes through right behind him at a 4:38.7. They'll go to number 2 and 3 on the qualifying sheet. We're chasing J.C. Beatty Jr. right now at that 4:28.0. Carson Hoyle, Nicole Liberty, our next pair. Liberty on the right-hand side out of Marine City, Michigan. The 1999 Firebird for NGK spark plugs, Liberty's gears, and Carson Hoyle left-hand side out of Hickory, North Carolina. The 69 Camaro for ATI Performance Products. Top in to go 4:25.8 for Nicole Liberty at 167 miles an hour. Carson Hoyle right alongside 4:28.5. So 4:25.8 puts Nicole to the top of the charts. Carson will slide in at number 3. Kyle Salmonen. He'll be on the right-hand side out of Marine City, Michigan. The Matt's Electric 03 Cavalier, Pat Musey horsepower, underneath the hood scoop, and Jeff Pittman out of Hickory, North Carolina for Hickory and Close, the 68 Chevelle. I believe Team Greenbrier helping out on his hot rod. And we talked about it on PDRA Live this past Wednesday night about the rookie season that Jeff Pittman's had here in Pro 632. It looked very impressive behind the wheel of this 68 Chevelle.
Pittman one half of the Greenbrier excavating team here in Pro 632. Pittman's on the starting line on the left-hand side of the racetrack. His teammate and current points leader, Jeff Melnick, on the weights and the wings on the right-hand side of the racetrack, sitting in the water box. So Pittman and Kyle Salmonen, number 3 and number 4 in the championship point standings. These two drivers need a big weekend. Lexi Tanner and Jeff Melnick have put some space in between themselves and the rest of the field. So if Pittman and Kyle want a shot at a world championship, they need to do some damage this weekend, and they need a little bit of luck on their side to get Lexi Tanner and Jeff Melnick out of the way early if they want to get back in championship contention.
Top in they go, 4:30 for Kyle Salmon and 4:27.5 for Jeff Pittman here in the Chevelle on the left side. Pittman's going to go number 2 with that lap. Salmon in number 5. And our final 2 cars in category, Lexi Tanner and Jeff Melnick. Melnick on the right-hand side of the racetrack, as Tyler mentioned, your current points leader in the category. Out of Hubbard, Ohio, the Greenbrier Excavating PTP Mickey Thompson machine. And Lexi Tanner, left-hand side, out of Rensselaer, Indiana. The 2016 Camaro for Talbot Manufacturing, Manhattan Collision, and Jeff Pierce Race Car Tuning. Tanner has been to 3 final rounds and has yet to turn on the final win like this season. But you gotta wonder when the law of averages takes effect and she will finally turn on that final win light. Melnick leads the point standings by a little bit over a round. So right now, 4:25.8 sits atop the sheet. Nicole Liberty holding the number 1 spot down with the final 2 cars in category. Pulling up to the top bulb. To go. 4:26 with the 3 for Jeff Melnick. 4:27.9 for Lexi Tanner, and Nicole Liberty going to lead the way in Q1 here in PDRA Pro 632 presented by PTC.
Nicole had some good performances at Martin, Michigan a couple of weeks ago, comes to the mountain, and Nicole Liberty finds her way to the provisional number 1 qualifying spot here in Pro 632. Jeff Melnick 2, Jeff Pittman 3, Lexi Tanner 4, and JC Beatty rounds out the top 5 here in Pro 632. So we'll be down for just a moment to a little bit of track prep, so clean up the racing surface and be ready to go. We'll give a shout out and a thank you to some of our sponsors that make the Redline Oil PDRA Drag Racing Series possible. The announcer's room is going on lunch break, so we'll be back shortly with Liberty's Gears Pro Street presented by Mentor Motorsports.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
This is what you save your lunch money for.
Welcome
Line Oil. Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
So at this time, we'll take Super Street. Super Street will take you to the lanes. Super Street take you to the lanes for Q1 pairings. Super Street take you to the lanes now for Q1 pairings. Super Street take you to lanes. Pro Street, if you're not here, absolute last and final call. Once again, Super Street will take you to the lanes now. Our track prep is underway. Get this knocked out here very shortly and get Pro Street out on the racetrack. Our small tire classes will now take precedence. We'll go Pro Street and Super Street. And the next thing you'll see after that will be Top Sportsman, and it will be round number 1 for back half Top Sportsman. 32 cars will come to the staging lanes, and only 16 will come back tomorrow for round number 2. Eliminations will begin for Top Sportsman. So we'll go Pro Street, it's in the lanes. Super Street, it's making their way here. Top Sportsman, Top and Pro Junior Dragster with their final round of qualifying. Then our pros will be back on the racetrack somewhere around 3 o'clock. We'll run Q2 of your professional categories that you just got to watch at home on FloRacing or here at Thunder Valley. If you have made your way out to Bristol Dragway, thank you for coming out. Have a stacked and packed afternoon and early evening of racing left on tour. So our traction tractors will complete their jobs, and Pro Street will be the next category to roll out here very shortly.
It's time for Liberty's Gears Pro Street, presented by Mintzer Motorsports. Power Purse this weekend. Thank you, Clinch Mountain Transport. Adrian Herrera, first out on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Fort Worth, Texas. The E-Shot 67 Chevelle. And Mikey Cecina, he'll be on the left-hand side at a Golden, Colorado for KTR Racing. Cecina looking good out here yesterday in testing. Made some impressive runs in his orange hot rod. So off they go, side by side to the top end. 4:15 for Adrian Herrera. What a run to kick us off here in Pro Street. 184 miles per hour. Mikey Cecina right alongside at a 4:24.1, 181. Man, that's any indication. This is about to be a rowdy round of Pro Street qualifying. Ty Casper's going to be next out. Left side of the racetrack, the 05 Mustang for Victus Sports. And Bill Devine, the clutch car, over on the right-hand side for Bullseye Power, the 01 Mustang out of Muskegon, Michigan. Mickey Thompson, Maxima Oil, Fuel Tech, Ram Clutches, and Mincer Motorsports on board his machine. Ty Casper, left side, Bill Devine on the right, a pair of turbo Mustangs. And they're out and gone. 4:27.3 for Ty Casper at 192 miles an hour. Wow.
Speed out of Casper right there, as you see, kind of easing it through the early part in the runs, making sure they get A to B. Scotty, they listened to us. They heard the A to B talk.
Tyler, nobody listens to us, let's
Okay,
be honest.
Never mind. I was excited for a moment.
We ramble. But
I think it might have been the food that got me that excited. The lunch
wow,
break really brought me back.
it was good stuff, too. So this is a cool matchup for a couple different reasons. Scott Kincaid and Ron Green, both of them silver hot rods, and both of them love to ride out the wheelie bars.
You are exactly right, Scotty. Scott Kincaid comes in your number 8 car in the point standings. Ron Green, your number 7. Little Tennessee versus Virginia matchup. A couple years ago, Tennessee and Virginia Tech played over at the oval track on the football field. Here today, in round number 1 of qualifying, get a little Tennessee-Virginia matchup between two good friends, Scott Kincaid and Ron Green.
Ron Green has been fun to watch here from our seat. I'm sure it's a little different behind the wheel, but he goes out there and hikes that front end up, and as long as it's going straight, generally he lays down a big pass. Scott Kincaid, no one will ever forget when that car came out, went on an absolute tear, winning, I think, 5 out of the first 6 races that it entered. It was just unheard of, just unprecedented. But this is a cool matchup here in Q1 for Pro Street. Scott Kincaid left side, Ron Green on the right.
So the number to beat right now is Adrian Herrera's 4:15.1. I promise you these two drivers will be looking to go somewhere a little bit quicker than that. Not going to be Ron Green. Scott Kincaid flew down to the racetrack 4:15.4. 187 miles per hour will put him number 2. And Ron Green just has trouble once again right off the hit. He's done that 2 runs in a row and just not like that car to lose traction that early into the run. But Scott Kincaid, straight, true, and consistent. 4:15.4 will put him number 2 currently.
Richard Reagan and Chris Tootin, a pair of Fox bodies, are the next 2 to take to the racing surface. Reagan on the right-hand side out of Rutledge, Tennessee. The Reagan Excavating, Tim's Garage, Lions Custom Motorsports Machine. And Chris Tootin, left-hand side of the racetrack, the Muffler Shop of Columbia, 87 Mustang. Torque Converter Services on board his hot rod, and kind of in a coat of many colors this weekend, Tyler, for Chris Tootin.
You've got to feel pretty good right now if you're Chris Tootin. You come off of a really bad accident up at Maryland. Your first couple of runs back out on the racetrack are 4:12 and 4:13, and tricky conditions and all that. So you feel like Chris Tootin's got to feel pretty nice right now. Comes in number 6 on the championship standings. Missed the Michigan tow because they were putting this car back together, but Tootin has looked really good in testing. Richard Reagan I think he made 1 good run yesterday as well. So these 2 drivers will be looking to put their Ford Mustangs right down the racetrack. Straight, true, and consistent Chris Tootin, second stage. Reagan not going to make it, and Tootin looks good. 421, 186 miles per hour. Again, straight, true, consistent. You get that run on the board, Scotty.
I agree with that. I feel that was a little conservative for Tootin after what we saw out of him yesterday.
And I think that was by design.
Yeah.
If you look right now at your conditions today compared to yesterday, you're warmer on temperature and you have more UV, which means the racetrack's hotter, a little bit trickier out there. So smart move. Veteran racer out of Chris Tootin knows how important going up and down the racetrack is and getting that run that puts you on the sheet and sets you up for the rest of the day.
And not that, I don't want this to come out wrong, but it probably will, but prior to Maryland, and then Chris Tootin's accident, this is the straightest up and down the racetrack I've ever seen his Mustang go. I don't know what they changed when they went back and rebuilt the car.
Yep, may have found something that was not as strong as it needed to be.
Exactly, but that was so far this weekend. He may be the guy that everybody keeps their eye on.
You have to feel really good if you're Chris right now. I know he made 3 runs. I'm not sure if he made 4. I don't know if he made all 3 sessions yesterday, but now that being his first run today, and really not, like you said, really nice, clean, smooth runs. You have to feel really good about that.
Absolutely.
Going back into Q2. So Fletcher Cox and Bill Riddle, the next 2 to roll to the starting line. Fletcher, the training day Chevrolet Camaro, left-hand side, the nitrous oxide runner. New Jersey. Pat Busey power between the frame rails, and he's got one of the best in the business on the laptop in Phil Schuler. Schuler will put a tune-up in that thing, and he'll try to get A to B. Bill Riddle, right-hand side, the 89 model Camaro, a past world champion in category. Try to get his car down the right-hand side of the racetrack here in Q1 as the Gore boys tune in from the other side of the country.
Yeah, tuning in from Ventura, California. Pretty cool stuff, but what a tale of 2 stories from Michigan, with Fletcher Cox laying down near world record performances and Bill Riddle having catastrophic parts failure.
They both went to work after the Michigan race, and they did so in different ways. Fletcher going to try to get this car down the racetrack after a change in his combination. Didn't have a great testing day yesterday. That's why it's in the past. Fletcher Cox, Bill Riddle, your next to last pair here in category. Super Street final call to the lane. Super Street final call. Riddle looked like he had to pedal. Fletcher looks like he makes it to the finish line. 4:18.6, 181 miles per hour for Fletcher Cox. 4:34 for Bill Riddle with a little bit of a pedal. So Fletcher Cox slides in at the number 3 spot on the qualifying sheet. Bill Riddle, number 7. It's your final pair in category and your top 2 in the point standings. Roll the water box. Ethan Stedding, your defending world champion. Left-hand side of the racetrack, and Blake Denton. Right-hand side, and Bonnie. Currently your point leader.
Stat guy checking in. Fun fact, in this the pair that's on the starting line, the black Camaro on the left side of the racetrack is the only one that has beaten Blake Denton in a final round this year. Blake Denton's been in all 4 final rounds, but Ethan Stedding is the only one that's turned the win light on against him. So it just happened at our last event at US 131. Ethan behind the wheel of the P2 machine left side out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania. They call that car the College Fund. P2 Contracting, Tie Drive, Redline Oil, YO Motorsports, NGK helping him out, and Blake Denton riding in Bonnie over on the right-hand side, one of Lizzie Musey's old machines. For Redline Oil, Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Jeff Pierce Race Car Tuning, and Hoosier Racing Tire.
Ethan Stedding, Blake Denton, your final pair in Pro Street. They both dropped the hammer. Ethan's out of the pedal, and Blake Denton right down the racetrack. 4:07.8. 190 miles per hour for Blake Denton as your points leader goes to the top of the qualifying sheet. Bonnie will lead the way into Q2. Blake Denton 1, Adrian Herrera 2, Scott Kincaid 3, Fletcher Cox 4, and Chris Tootin. Round out your top 5 here in Liberty's Gears Pro Street, presented by Menser Motorsports. It's Blake Denton in the nitrous entry, goes to the top, 4:07.8, right down the Super Grip, right-hand side of the racetrack here at Bristol Dragway. Now we make the jump into Super Street. Brooks McMath, left-hand side, the 76 model Camaro, previously piloted by Blake Denton, now is back in Super Street, purchased by the McMath family. Don Bailey on board helping out with that one, and Grant Brode, right-hand side for B&B Race Cars, the Hohenwald, Tennessee-based 90 model Ford Mustang, nitrous oxide assisted as well. Two young guns.
Literally just thought you said hole in the wall, Tennessee.
Pretty close.
Is it?
I've been there. They build really good race cars there, but outside of that, I don't think there's much there. But Grant, his father Darren, one of the best chassis builders probably in the country. Some of the nicest super stock cars that you'll see in the NHRA and anywhere that runs super stock. If you see a nice one, look at the quarter window. I bet it says B&B Race Cars on it. So that team will make their Super Street debut here this weekend, and Brooks McMath doing the same in the Camaro. Grant will take it to the finish line, 483 at 152 miles per hour. Good A to B lap right there in the heat. Brooks has issues, will coast down.
And that's got to be disappointing for the McMath team, as they came out yesterday in testing and looked like he'd been behind the wheel for years. Looked like a seasoned veteran behind the wheel of that Camaro. So we'll be just a minute while we get Brooks McMath car pushed off the top end. Looks like green light's already on the safety quad, so we'll fire the next pair up and they'll head to the water box.
Top Sportsman 32, we need you to the lanes for pairings. Top Sportsman 32, we need you to the lanes for pairings for round number 1. Top Sportsman 32, we need you to the lanes for pairings. Once again, Top Sportsman 32, need you to the lanes for pairings for round number 1. Once again, Top Sportsman 32, we need you now.
Tyler, we need friends like Brad McBride has. He's up here in a borrowed machine, and his last trip here to Bristol Dragway, well, we'll just say, had undesirable results. It was not good for the Volkswagen entry, but Brad McBride out of Granite Falls, North Carolina, behind the wheel of Fox Bonnie on the right-hand side. So it looks like McBride was supposed to face off against Brian Wolf. McBride going to make a solo run. McBride, straight and true. 512, 145 miles an hour. Your defending world champion in the category pulls up on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Dan Wettstein out of La Plata, Maryland. The Red Velvet 1991 Fox Body Mustang. Essick Motorsports, Pro Charger, Atomizer Injectors, ATI Trans, Mincer Motorsports, and UPR Products helping Wettstein out. And Dustin Mewborn on the left-hand side, according to Tyler, made the short trip from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. The 89 Mustang for PTC. It looks like he was having some trouble. Still might be. They're pushing that car back. So it looks like Dustin's going to try to make the trip. He's already staged up. Maybe, maybe not. I think the R is broken on the shifter. Not 100% on that, Tyler.
To me to be. Not sure though. Dustin Mewborn and Dan Wettstein will make the full power trip. 482.3 at 149 miles per hour of the Red Velvet Ford Mustang. Mewborn will have some trouble and try to make its way down there. Goes 8:37 for time. As Carson Perry and Austin Vincent will be your next two.
So Carson Perry, Austin Vincent next to the starting line. Carson on the left-hand side out of Sims, North Carolina. The 2000 Camaro for Greenbrier Excavating. Austin Vincent on the right-hand side out of Central City, Kentucky. For Vincent Performance, the 88 Mustang. Drummond Race Designs, Nitrous Express, Davis Technologies, Steph's Fabrication, Jessel Diamond Pistons, and Maxima Racing Oil. Vincent, number 3 in the point standings currently. Has 2 number 1 qualifiers under his belt and a race win this season.
Vincent with issues. Carson Perry right down Broadway, 478, 151 miles per hour for Carson. Good lap for the Greenbrier excavating team. I do believe that puts them to the top of the leaderboard. Hold, please. Vanna White says yes. Thanks. It's Carson Perry, 478. Currently the time to beat here in Super Street. Clean up out here on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Looks like Austin Vincent had a little bit of leakage. So we'll get that cleaned up as our final pair in category sits at the ready line. Lucky for them, it's in the shade currently. It's Matt Shallow and Connor McGee will be our final pair in the category of Super Street.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
This is what you save your lunch money for. Welcome to the High Limit Room.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Shallow left side out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, the 69 Camaro for Canerio Race Engines, 1325. PKRE Nitrous, Tyndall's Tools, and Mincer Motorsports. And Connor McGee over on the right-hand side, your points leader in the category. For Brian's Heating and Cooling, the 90 Mustang with the Fulton Power Plant. All right, finally making their way to the starting line. Here we go. Shallow left side, Connor McGee on the right. Wiggle out of McGee. He's out of the loud pedal. 488.3 from Matt Shallow at 150 miles per hour. McGee's going to coast through at a 611. So Matt Shallow land number 4 on the qualifying sheet. Carson Perry leading the way after Q1 with that 478.0. Dan Wetstein, number 2. Grant Brode, number 3. Number 4, Matt Shallow. Number 5, Brad McBride. Don't forget, if you're out walking around, grab yourself an event t-shirt from the PDRA Apparel Trailer. All things PDRA. Brightspeed, fiber internet, also on the Midway. Davis Technologies, Drag Illustrated, Florida Performance, Redline Oil, Flying A Motorsports, Full Spectrum Power, Goodyear Mickey Thompson, Hoosier Tire, M&M Transmissions, Mazier Enterprises, Modern Outlaw Apparel, Paragon Performance Cooling Solutions, PTC, and SP Tools. Go check them out over there on the Manufacturers Midway.